Kakushigoto is going to be one of the most enjoyable anime to follow in the spring 2020 season. I'm pretty damn sure of that, even after only a couple of episodes. And I think the reason it's going to stick out and be so memorable is it's the perfect balance of comedy and drama. The drama that's been present over the past two episodes is very small, but it's noticeable enough that they bring it up in very tasteful ways where it's trying to say, hey, there's a reason things are being kept a secret, and you want to see the final episode. You want to see why he may eventually discover the secret, why she was so locked away and decide not to ask those questions. But getting to that point, it is surrounded by wholesome comedy, and it's nothing other than that. And what better combo than a father who has a manga position where some of his published photos are him naked drawing. It's a little vulgar for the manga, and he wants to protect his little girl from basically being influenced by what he considers to be shameful behavior. It's amazing, and I'm really loving the mystery of her mother, because there's two options. Either A, she died, and that's why she prepared many years worth of clothing just so she would always have something special that probably only a mother could do, or so she thought, or the mother willingly left but still felt like she needed to do something so maybe she could remember her by or not feel guilty herself. One of the two, either dead or she willingly left. But it's interesting how I don't think she understands what a mother is at all. Like, I don't think she's ever known her mother. And if she did, it was probably at such a young age she can't even remember her face, because she firmly believes those boxes were made by her father, which is why he has to start basically sewing and things like that, because a dress was in order. I mean, there's a lot there, but I love how instead of just like hammering it in, being like, oh, it's time for the sappy story, it's time to say, get your tissues ready. No, instead it's saying, hey, there's some darker stuff here, but there's a reason why he acts a certain way, because he wants her to feel positive, and clearly for herself, she wants to lock away the trauma because she just tries not to think about things. And I guess that's probably why she acts a little so ditzy, and I like that. I like how by episode 2 you're already getting like an explanation on a character quirk where she is, yes, a child, she's young, so that could just be the explanation without needing anything to be said. But the fact that when boys will bring up, hey, didn't your mother ever teach you how to wash things properly? You can tell there's probably something in her mind that she does remember, but the trauma of it is probably like she locks it away and just is like, oh, you're right, and just doesn't think about it. And it's kind of interesting how, seemingly based on the glimpses of the future that we have seen, she doesn't realize that until she's close to being an adult. Like, she really did lock that away, and it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen over the course of the season, because based on the template so far, I'm curious if every episode is going to end more or less on a future scene and just getting a little bit more as each episode goes on, than maybe by the time the final episode wraps up, either if they go anime original or they just, they have something that the manga can leave off on a satisfying note. We'll just see all the pieces click in a more, organic fashion rather than a kind of like chop into like puzzle pieces fashion. But even though there was definitely some drama there, as I said, a majority of this show is hilarious. And I mean, I love how I don't think it's super easy to pick a favorite comedy moment. Like, I mean, last week was Starbucks, like, that was definitely the most memorable. But I mean, when I walked out of this episode, I was thinking about just the idea that the way he prepares for basically if Hime ever comes in, and just how he, like, dresses up, he draws a tie on, and basically pretends to have a business meeting. Like, that alone was enough to leave me rolling. And the fact that basically a security came barging in because they thought they were dealing drugs and just... But I think like the best part of that entire point is when the one girl is like, don't let them look at my computer, because she googled how to draw cute girls, and I'm just like, oh god, this show is brilliant. Like, I love how instead of just like having random events, what they do is they build off previous events. During that whole festival, he literally bought up every piece of merchandise that had his character or face on it, or it could be linked up to his face. So the closet then got stuffed with cotton candy, which, yeah, if you were getting busted for basically being shady, it's understandable why seeing large bags of potentially white stuff would be, oh shit, they're dealing in cocaine or something. And I like that. I like how, like, yeah, there definitely are moments where, like, it is obviously random events and they don't connect, completely to the next one. But it is nice that there is a flow in the episodes, and it makes it feel really organic. Or just how you have the whole idea of like a little classroom field trip and how he is, you can question some of his parenting ways of like how he's keeping things a secret, but you can't deny the love is always there. This man's going out of his way to buy beetles so she would catch the biggest one, hiring the chef to basically have the tastiest of curry, and just how like he doesn't think a lot of these things through, because by the time she comes home she's like, yeah, no one liked my curry, it was too spicy, because he didn't take into consideration that you make certain foods a little different than you would for adults, and maybe you probably should have hired a children's chef or something to that nature. It's just nice how all the little pieces connect, and how like he takes his colleagues on this business trip, making them think like, oh wow, we really do work hard. And then basically they get stuck cleaning and then they make manga chapters. It's like the show is amazing. I just love how hilarious it is. Honestly, any moment in this show is funny, and at certain points it has me rolling. Like, I love just the overall idea that, and it's actually kind of a true thing with a lot of manga artists, where like they can't really get into the zone unless they do something weird, and people are like, why don't you just work, you're wasting time. And for them, just making food, or before even like putting it in the oven, they're like, okay, we're ready, we're good, the creative juices are flowing. I like how they actually do reference some real things people go through, not even just in the manga industry, but just people in general in any job. Sometimes you need like a little ritual or just something to take your mind off it so the creative juices start flowing, and then you can just speed by, even if it's not the most healthy of production cycles. But I mean, when it comes to manga and anime, when is there really a healthy or good production schedule? Very, very little. So I like that. I like how it really does feel like it feels genuine. Like, it is overboard, don't get me wrong. Look at the characters, look at how the father is in any given moment. This man loves his daughter, but he is a beast. He is a wild card when it comes to his exaggerations. But it does feel like everything comes from a genuine place. It's just obviously heightened with a comedy flair, and I love that. Like, it's not one of those shows that every single week you're going to be able to look at it and say, okay, here's like a 15-minute analysis on the comedy formula and all the dramatic. Like, sure, there's definitely dramatic moments that you can take a look at and talk about, and you can mention your favorite funny moments or what you liked about the comedy or how it connected. But it is a more simpler show by design, but by the time you watch the whole package, that's when you can truly bask and appreciate it. And I don't know, maybe there will be some longer reviews for this show, or maybe there will be a lot of shorter ones. I don't know. I just know that it's worth watching, and I like talking about it. So it'll be one of the shorter reviews I probably do in quite a while, but I mean, I like this show and I want to keep talking about it. I just feel like every single joke is basically built around the love for the daughter, but even when that happens, they still find new ways because they have an unlimited arsenal in terms of set pieces that they can pretty much do whatever the hell they want. And that's pretty fantastic. But what did everyone think of this episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Your favorite moment? Did you like it better than episode 1? Whatever you feel, let me know. Be sure to leave a like if you did enjoy it, and remember to hit that subscribe button if you happen to be new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.